I see.
We got breaking news out of Atlanta. Breaking news out of Atlanta. Dejounte Murray has been traded to the New Orleans Pelicans. Yes, you heard that right. Hawks star Dejounte Murray has been traded to New Orleans for two firsts. Looks like it was a 2025 pick, 2027 pick. Dyson Daniels and Larry Nance Jr. Now, when you say those names, none of those are appetizing. None of those sound good. None of those players get me excited. But what did get me up and out of the bed was seeing Dejounte Murray traded away for a bag of chips. We're going to react, man. We're going to look at everything. I'm going to be honest with y'all, man. I got a couple of texts laying in the bed. And I hot right up, man. I feel like we had to do this. We had to have this conversation. If you watch my stream this morning on Bleacher Report, I said it confidently. I said it with my chest out. I said the Hawks are not going to trade DJ. If anything, we're going to see a similar roster. We're going to run back the Trae Young and Dejounte Murray backcourt. But, hey, less than 12 hours later, Dejounte Murray is out of here. He's out of here for, again, 2 first-round picks, Dyson Daniels and Larry Nance Jr. And the Larry Nance Jr. part seems like it's going to be, either trade bait. I feel like he's going to be traded again, or he will be cut, man. So, like I said, we're going to react to it all. We're going to dive into it. Lucky for me, I am not here alone. I have a special guest with me tonight to react to this because this is just too much to handle. This is too much for one person, and I know y'all don't want to hear me rant, man. Y'all don't want to hear me rant. You want to hear a good conversation. You want to hear two bright men try to figure this out because this ain't making no sense. This ain't making any sense. So we got Sexy in the building. What's up, Sexy? He's saying no. And I think a lot of Hawks fans are having a similar reaction. So, like I said, without further ado, we're going to bring on a big Atlanta sports guy. He is a Hawks fan. I'm sure he's a Braves fan. He covers the Falcons, especially on One Time for the Fan. And I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. So, without further ado, we're going to bring Mr. T. Will onto the stage. What's up, T?
What's up? What's up, Mark? How you doing? What's up, fans? How's everybody doing? Yeah, man, trying to just digest this trade, man. Like, I mean, we'll get into it, but wow. That's wow. I mean, bro, that's all I can say is wow. Like, I hope, well, first off, I didn't want DeJounte traded, but now that that's done, now that that's out there, I hope this is a first step in a sequence of moves because I know we needed first round picks, but I don't know that I necessarily like what we got back. And no disrespect to Larry Nance Jr. or Daniels. But that's a starter. That's your shooting guard. That's your backup point guard. Maybe you can make it make sense for me because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not sure either, man.
The only thing I can think, honestly, and again, these are the Hawks, so I don't look. I'm ATL down. I love all my ATL teams, but the Hawks can make some moves that sometimes are astounding. I don't always get the logic, so I'm gonna look. I'm not gonna badmouth anybody. I'm not there, I'm not in it. I'm not in the back office, but I would hope that we would try and go and get somebody else. I would hope that we would try and go and get, either another shooting guard, another shooting guard, or I was hoping we'd get Brandon Ingram. You know what I mean? Like because again, I mean Dejounte is what, 20 a game?
Yeah,
I
I mean,
just walked out the door and we got first round picks and and 5 a game back, and what am I missing? Okay. I mean, hey, whatever. I don't know, man. I don't know. It puts me in the mind. Are we in the rebuilding phase? Did it officially start, or was this a salary cap move? And I'm interested to see, like, where does this put this as far as the salary cap is concerned? Because we had already traded away AJ, which I was of the mindset that we were now under the salary cap. I know we have a $25 million exception. So,
right.
and now, I'm not a capologist, especially not in basketball, because that is the most complex salary cap. Man, to do a trade of equal value, it's almost like a peace treaty at the UN. I mean, so I get it, but this doesn't make sense to me. Mark, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking right now?
Hey, I'm like you. It doesn't make much sense. I mean, I can see the benefit. Maybe you're trying to free up some money. Maybe there's another move, in the works, or like you said, it could, or like we have Sexy saying, it could be opening up time for Kobe Buffkin. It could be opening time for our rookie, Ricochet. So, I mean, as of now, I don't like this move. I mean, when we're looking at the details again, we see here Pelicans land a star on the trade market. Hawks get 2 first-round picks. So we're going to be getting the Lakers pick next year. And then in 2027, it looks like we either get the better pick from the Pelicans or the Bucks. We get Dyson Jones. I know that's a guy. He's young. He has potential, but I don't think he's lived up to the hype he had coming out of high school. And then Larry Nance again. I mean, we even see it here. It's looking like he may be a trade chip in the next deal, or he could just simply get cut. So again, just trying to look at everything. Man, the only thing I can think is that there has to be another move.
Yeah,
That's the only thing I can say,
yeah.
Trey.
That's the only logical conclusion. So if we close the night, or if by the end of the weekend we see that the Hawks trade for Brandon Ingram, I'll feel better about it, right? I mean, I don't think that Brandon Ingram is a 2, but hell, whatever. I mean, I would feel better about that, because you at least now have points coming back in the door. Ingram, you can say what you want to. I don't know if you want to call him iffy on defense. I mean, he's decent on defense. I don't know, but I know he's a scorer. But we just let 20 to 25 points a game walk out the door. And Dejounte plays pretty good defense, and we got Larry Nance. So the math ain't mathing for me. This only makes sense if you go out and get 1 or 2 more stars. Then I'm like, okay, I could see the vision. So I don't know, but they say they give them credit. They said that the 2 couldn't play together, that they're both ball dominant. So maybe we will bring some other guys in here that can move without the ball, that are not ball dominant, that will fit more so what we have. I don't know, man. I don't know. He changed his name to 3 and D. Okay. All right, 3 and D. You got a right to do it. You got a right to do whatever you want to do, buddy.
Right. Hey. No, trust me, we definitely appreciate it. You're making it easy for us. But yeah, man, this is a tough one, man. I mean, to your point, I would like to see the numbers, see how much we could have gained potentially. Let's see if we can pull that up. Just look together, man. Like I said, kind of dive into this and see what is happening. So it looks like they already updated this. Man, they move quick.
Yeah, they do.
So let's see. Let's see.
So who takes his place? Bajan, not Bajan. Bogey.
Yeah, Bogey potentially Ricochet. Because I said this morning. Even though I didn't think DJ would be traded on Bleacher Report, I said when you pick Ricochet, or Ricochet, my first thought was, okay, what does this mean for Kobe Buffkin? What does this mean for AJ Griffin? Well, we got one of those answers very quickly. AJ Griffin was traded for the 44th pick. We used that pick essentially to get Nicola. So, okay, cool. He's not part of the future, but the next question was, okay, what does this mean for DeAndre Hunter? And what does this mean for the Dejounte and Trae Young backcourt? And I still felt confident that neither guy would really be moved. But I did say you kind of had to move one of them. There's no way you could go back into this next season and run back the same roster. And I felt like there was an opportunity to get the most out of Ricochet. And to me, the way you get the most out of him is you start him at the 2. Now, as now when we look at the roster, you're looking at Trae Young, potentially Ricochet, Hunter, Jalen Johnson, and I still expect Clint Capella to be moved. So you want to talk about an active team? We're probably going to end up making at least 3 trades before the season starts. So again, that's kind of what I see. I see Ricochet potentially starting. I know Bogey is a name, but you get Ricochet out there. Part of the reason why you drafted him is because it's his on-ball and off-ball defense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Bogey does not excel in that, but we did see the Hawks have the best success when Bogey was starting in 2021. So if you can kind of upgrade that role, now you kind of get a younger Bogey, a taller Bogey, and a player that can play a little defense. I think it makes sense, but I just disagree with what we got in this trade.
Yeah.
2 first-round picks and a role player, because Larry Nance will never play here. That to me isn't enough. Then when you look at the cap, it looks like we've only saved $6 million. If I'm not mistaken, we may have saved $10 million. Forgive me for being ignorant right now, but I know we were 14th and we were in the negative $50 million range. So we didn't really save any money. We did get some picks. We do open up minutes for Ricochet, but there has to be another move. And when you consider the next moves, I can't think of anybody that would make this make sense. Because even Brandon Ingram, I mean, to me, it don't make sense because you would have made the deal right then and there. You would have found a way to do that deal with New Orleans in one swing. So
yeah. Now help me to understand, because I do not understand basketball salary caps. I can understand football, but so negative 46 million is not good, right? That means we are over. Negative is actually we're over 46 million, but I thought Dejounte was making 30 million. I thought he was making 30 million this year.
Yeah, but we took on some money, and then Daniels is making 6 million, and then let's see, where's Nance at? 18. So that's 18. I think Murray. Yeah, so Murray had to be around 32-ish. Let's look real quick. So it looks like Murray was going to be taking up 25 million. That's an extremely good deal. So again, they sent out what we just saying?
11 million for somebody.
Yeah, so they sent out about 18 million total, about 17. They sent out 17. They took on 25. So in that case, the Hawks saved what, $8 million. That gets you to that negative 52, like we were talking about. So we didn't save too much. We do get some picks. We were without picks, but something's still not adding up, man. Something's still not adding up. I'm not too sure about this, man. When you consider the type of player Dejounte Murray is, it really doesn't make sense. I mean, I could see if we had to do this, but we didn't necessarily have to do this. I mean, this is the type of player that we just let walk.
Yeah, I don't get it. To me, it screams desperation. And maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I should say anxiousness. But I don't know, man. I just don't feel like you got enough back for him. And to me, that if we don't make another move, this to me is a salary cap / blow it up move. If we get nothing else, right? But then again, my understanding of the salary cap is not. I'm not that astute of basketball salary caps. So I know that we have 2 exceptions this year. Is that correct? We've got the $25 million exception and another one that the Dixon Way was talking about the other day when we were on that show. Do you remember?
I'm not too sure of a second one. I know we had one from last season. If I'm not mistaken, we got one when we traded John Collins. So, I mean, to your point, I think it is setting up to make another move. Maybe we had another move in agreement, and there was just no spot for Dejounte, and we had to make a tough call. You had to make a tough call. You can get some picks, but it opens up some things because maybe $8 million was a difference in, completing this other deal that we're thinking on.
Yeah.
But for the basketball, I mean, the one unique thing compared to NFL is you can go over the cap to resign your own players. So, that's how you see teams with such ugly cap spaces because, the guys on your roster, you can go a little deeper into your bag to keep a guy. They wanted to keep the league competitive. They didn't want teams losing their star players all the time.
Right.
And, they wanted to, give teams incentives for drafting guys and giving them a second contract. So again, I can't think of who could be on the move. I understand Brandon Ingram's out there. Any other names you can think of that not only may be out there or you heard but any other players that would make this trade make sense?
Bro, I don't know. There are not a lot of free agents that were out there. Like you and I talked about free agency, and we talked about OG guy with the Knicks. Can't think of his last name, but they re-signed him.
Right.
So I don't know that there's. I don't know, man. To me, it's got to be another trade. Like I don't know who else is available. I don't know that the free agency depth is what we need. I don't know that the talent available via free agency is even something we should consider because I didn't see anybody on there that would move the needle, right? So especially when I look at Dejounte's replacement, I need at least 20 points. And when I looked at our free agent, and maybe you can bring it up, but when I looked at the available free agents, I think there were only 2 folks that averaged 20 points. One of them was I think OG, and there was another guy out there, and that was it.
Yeah.
What's going on, Dimitri? That was it. So that says to me you're not going to get it via free agency. But
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I agree. It seems unlikely that it will be a free agent. It's definitely going to be someone, we trade for. At least that it feels that way. But I can't think of any player. When we go through this list, a lot of these guys will never come to Atlanta. A lot of these guys are already going back to their teams. Paul George is very unlikely. LeBron's going back to LA. Maxey ain't leaving. OG's not leaving. This is a guy we talked about this morning, Isaiah. He's a 7-foot center, but again, he's a free agent. There's no way we're creating cap space to get him. DeMar DeRozan, Harden, KCP, Clay, Tobias. Like you said, I don't see many of these guys averaging over 20 points per game.
I like DeMar DeRozan, but again, I don't know that he comes to Atlanta. And then is DeMar not ball dominant? Is he not ball dominant or no?
Yeah, I mean, when you think about fit, he may be a worse fit next to Trae Young.
Yeah.
He may be a worse fit from Trae Young. We'll hop in the chat. What's up, Demetrius? We got DJ in the building. What's up, bro? Hey, do us a favor, hit that like and share the live for us, man. Get us into the algorithm. 3D's asking, is the rookie ready? So I'm gonna ask you, do you think Ricochet, as of now, is ready to start in the NBA?
I'm gonna be honest with you, and again, I watch basketball. I am not a basketball aficionado, but in my humble opinion, he better be. I mean,
Right.
if you're the number one pick in the first round of the NBA draft, to me, you ready to start. I would say any top 5 pick. Now after that, yeah, but a top 5 pick, especially going 1, 2, or 3, that says to me you're ready to start. You're ready tomorrow. You're plug and play. Now that's my humble opinion.
I agree.
What? Okay, and then is Buffkin ready? Is Buffkin ready? Now I didn't see Buffkin play last year, so I don't know. But is he ready to at least come off the bench in a support role?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, I think that is one of the benefits of trading Dejounte Murray is you create some time. You create a clear direction for the team for Kobe Buffkin and Ricochet. Again, that's why you get DJ and AJ out. Y'all don't fit with where we're trying to go.
Yeah.
So let's get y'all out of here. But again, to answer your point or answer your question, I think Kobe's ready to come off the bench. He was kind of like a younger version of Dejounte Murray. So it's almost like when we drafted him last season, we took our time developing him. He had a lot of success in the G League in College Park. We worked him in slowly. Even when Trae Young was hurt, we didn't rush him into play. And maybe that was just an audition. That was an interview. And they say, you know what? You're basically Dejounte Murray. You're cheaper. It makes no sense to keep both of y'all. DJ is going to be able to get us some first-round picks back because of his contract. So we got to make a tough decision. And parts of me wants there to be another trade, to feel more confident in Landry Fields' vision. But another part of me thinks that he traded DeJounte Murray because there was first-round picks offered, and it created an opportunity to get Kobe and get Ricochet more minutes. And that to me is terrifying. That to me is terrifying.
What?
Because that tells me that you're going all in with Trae Young, and it's just disappointing, man. I was thinking about this earlier. How many players next to Trae Young has to be moved? You got to think, Taryn. Since Trae Young has been here, and he pretty much established himself, we traded Rondo, but Rondo got his Lou Will, so that's okay. But we have now traded Kevin Huerter, AJ Griffin, Cam Reddish, John Collins. Who else am I forgetting?
Cam
John, Huerter, AJ, and my point is these are all players that's playing with Trae Young, right? Guys are playing next to Trae Young. Granted, anybody that we traded was going to be a guy that played with Trae Young, but specifically, these are guys that we can kind of see. Okay, they maybe benefited from Trae Young, but maybe Trae Young also hurt their game. So
careful. Where we careful.
And I'm not saying that, okay, he makes some bums, but I'm just saying, okay, now you add DJ to that list, and then you got to consider how many coaches we fired.
I cannot disagree with that.
Our GM quit.
Let me
Our
tell you something.
GM quit.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. My father, God rest his soul, and my mama, God rest her soul. My parents would always say, if there is a, and I again, I Trae Young is a great player. This is to take nothing away from him, okay? But my parents would say, if there is a problem everywhere you go, the problem is not everywhere you go. The problem is you. Now, I don't know if it applies here, but let's walk back what you said, because you said a lot, right? You said two coaches,
a
GM, and
right.
at least 5 players, right? And you know what? This is what I'll say. People grow. People grow.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you got, because Trae Young, the Trae Young of now is not Trae Young 4 or 5 years ago. It's not the same. You could see he's a parent. You could see even this year he did try get out and play defense. A different Trae Young. So I'm not gonna lay this all on him. I'm not gonna say this is his fault. But by the same token, where there's smoke, there's fire. This Hawks team has not looked the same since 2021. And we have a lot of the same components, right? We got a lot of the same players. Especially, it didn't help when Trae came out in 2022 and said, well, the regular season is just not like the playoffs, and I just can't get up for it. And I'm like, even if you think that, you don't say that.
Right.
Not the captain of the team, not the leader of the squad, because it kind of makes us look like, oh, well, you don't take it seriously until the playoffs. And you see, we really haven't been back, right? So, and I don't know what it is. It could be chemistry. It could be, Trae to me seems like the kind of guy that has to be pushed. Like, when those fans were like, F you, we got the best version of Trae ever, because he was like, no, F you. And here's why. And he showed out. And maybe he just, certain guys need a combative environment. I don't know. I don't know what the secret sauce is with him, but we have not been able to tap into that for at least 3 going on 4 years now. And so my concern is, when is enough enough? Like, wait, has Trae been through 3 coaches or 2?
Just 2 coaches. I mean, no. Oh, yeah. Yeah, just 2. Just Lloyd Pierce.
And then
Nate McMillan. And then right now, Quinn Snyder doesn't look any better than any of those coaches. So again, it's one of those situations, like you said, man. If it's trouble everywhere you go, you might have to look yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
And like you said, people change, people grow. And I'm just trying to think, is this what will help Trae? He's already not well respected around the league. And
why is that? Why is that? Let's go there. Why do you think the perception? Because in a lot of people's mind, perception is reality. Trae could be a great guy,
right?
But his perception, and you can keep me honest, is that some folks he rubs kind of the wrong way. Now, if you want to talk about the shimmy, bro, Steph does that. So I mean, it can't be just the shimmy. It can't be his haughty or arrogant nature on the court, because I could give you 30 guys who do the same thing. So what is it about Trae Young that rubs people the wrong way? Like, I don't know what that is. Maybe we start there. I know that there was talk that he and John Collins sometimes didn't get along. And John, to me, seems to be the kind of guy that's like, look, man, let's go. Let John Collins bled and sweat and cried for this team. So again, I don't know. Trae Young is a phenomenal player. Phenomenal player. Does he bring the best out of his teammates? That's a question. That's and again, It's not his job to play for somebody else. This is a professional league. As competitors, as they need to be ready to play themselves. But there are some guys that just resonate this demand, this drive to be better. They bring the best out of other players. And I think Trey did that in 2021. Playoff Trey was awesome because it wasn't just about playoff Trey. It was like, okay, I'm going to drive in and I'm going to give you this little, jumper, this little floater. And when people start converging, now I'm going to kick it out and you get it and you get a look and you get a look and you get a 3-pointer and you get a 3-pointer. And I just have not seen, I've not seen that guy. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Mark, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot not to like about Trey Young. I mean, you got to think his play style, and at one point, they had to literally change the rules because just how he manipulated the game. Um, to me, it kind of shows his greatness, but at the same time, he did abuse it when he would jump back into the defender to get foul calls. And, you just put the refs in a bad position where they kind of had to call it. So I think that kind of gave him a bad rep. Then just his overall attitude. You talk about how he used to manipulate the refs, but then it was also how he talked to the refs, and how he led the team. And I think other players and other guys could just look at Atlanta and just say, that's not something I would want to be a part of. So I think that because you got to think it was not just the players, it's the coaches too. Around the league, a lot of people just don't respect what Trey Young's been able to do so far in his NBA career. And it really does have you wonder why. And then you got to think about, I know that things didn't go too well around the league when Lloyd Pierce got fired. A lot of people had a lot of respect for Lloyd Pierce.
Yeah. Yeah.
He had a lot of time coaching the Olympic teams and Team USA. So, man, it's just so many things. Now, personally, I'm a Hawks fan. I don't hate Trey, but I can clearly see how other people can. And if you're a Hawks fan or if you're an observer in the NBA and you can't admit to that, then you're just being naive. So, again, that's where it just comes back full circle to me when I look at this trade and I see the organization riding with Trey Young again. That is terrifying because you just traded 3 unprotected first-round picks to get this man because of Trey Young. Now you trade him away, not even 2 years later. When Trey Young was injured, this is a guy that stepped in and had success. I mean, again, when you just look at everything, man, it doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make sense. But again, I think Trey Young, man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to think. I really don't know what to think because this don't make any sense, man. It don't make like the deeper I think about it, it's like how many chances does Trey Young get?
Mm-hmm.
Like I get it, you traded Luka for him, so you're never going to really admit if you trade Trey Young, you're admitting that you lost that trade. But
Right.
at some point, you have to be realistic and say, okay, who is it easier to build around? A smaller guard that can score, or a two-way player that gets everybody involved. For the most part, has a good attitude. It makes you just really wonder. And again, we saw this team without Trey Young
Mm-hmm.
have success.
Mm-hmm.
This is Dejounte Murray's stats last season without Trey Young.
Mm-hmm.
This is Dejounte Murray's stats without Trey Young. 12 and 11. He played extremely well after the All-Star break, but he played well even without Trey Young. As we see, 27 points per game, 9 assists, and most importantly, we held our opponents to 112 points per game.
And that's a big differentiator right there. That's 12 points. That's 6 buckets. That's 6 buckets. That's 6 less buckets, right? So, and again, man, Trae Young is a phenomenal talent. I don't want to take anything away from him. I'm not trying to down anybody. I'm not. That's not, look, I'm ATL down. You know what I mean? I've been here for 50 years, bro. 51 years. I love all my Atlanta teams. Okay, I love my Hawks. I go back to the days of Tree Rollins, Danny Roundfield, Eddie Johnson, guys that probably, some of them not even with us anymore. Okay, so I love my Hawks, but I have to be honest. And Trae individually is a great player. I don't have an issue with you making, drawing contact or whatever. I'm a small guy. I'm 5'9". I don't have an issue with that. I'm out here with 6'5" dudes. I'm trying to get every advantage I can. I don't have an issue with that. I don't. What I do have an issue with, though, however, is when your relationship with your coaches, your relationships with your players. Right. And I understand everybody's not warm and cuddly. And I don't know. So a lot of this is speculation. I'm not in the Hawks locker room. But again, 1 GM, 2 coaches, 5, there's got to be something. And I'm not saying Trae is Attila the Hun, but I'm from a generation where you didn't give coaches pushback. My father, I wish I would argue with the coach. My father would get me before the coach would. Boy, no. I did something stupid one day. I'm playing baseball, whatever. It was a terrible call, okay? And I still say I was right. Okay? Right. Let me put that out there. I don't think I was wrong because the guy had to reach out to here to catch the ball. There's no way that was a strike. And the ump was like, that's a strike. And I think I was 8 years old. And I was like, that is not a strike. Da-da-da-da-da. My father came, snatched me up by my chest, pulled me off the field. We went home. Okay. Wow. I never did that again. And that was when I was right. I was right about that call. Right? You don't argue with a coach. I'm not from that. Now again, as players, as adults, there's a way to handle anything. You have an issue with a coach, you go talk about it. Right. But publicly being demonstrative, and I understand things happen, but I'm kind of, you know what I mean? There's just certain things like my dad did not. My generation, you didn't argue with a coach. Now I understand everybody's talented. I'm T. Will. I'm not an athlete, whatever. But there has to be a level of respect. And just to me, and this is just from the outside looking in, it feels like Quinn is the only coach that Trae really respected. Lloyd Pierce, Trae got to a point, I don't think he cared because they would argue publicly. They would, you could go back and see it. You could stay, they would argue, whatever. Nate, it got to a point where Trae just didn't want to hear it. So at a certain point, because winners do this. Winners point at themselves. Right. Losers point to somebody else. Right? And again, look, I'm not saying that these guys were the greatest coaches. It's a team game, right? But what I am saying is there has to be something to this because typically where there's smoke, there's fire, right? If other coaches have a bad opinion of you, right? If other players have a bad opinion of you, where's that coming from, right? If some of your own players don't, right? And again, that doesn't mean he can't change because I'm a firm believer in people can change. Okay, people. Let me tell you something. I'm 54 years old. 24-year-old Terry was an asshole. Asshole. People can say, people can grow. We are the sum of our experiences. And look, sometimes when you get to become adult, mom and daddy wasn't right about everything. I'm not right about everything. And we have to grow, right? There's some things that my parents did and said that I had to just, hey man, there's a saying that says, chew the meat, spit out the fat. chew the meat. In other words, that you can use, that you can't, put it down. And I'm not coming after this man's parents. Let me be clear. I'm not coming after this man's parents. I'm simply saying that was regarding me and my growth. I don't know Trey's situation. But what I am saying is Trey to me has matured. So I don't know the man that he is today, but from 4, 5, 6 years ago, it seems like maybe there was some friction between coaches and friction between teammates, and maybe Trey was the aggressor, or maybe it is perceived that Trey was the aggressor. Again, it's kind of hard to vilify somebody when you don't know the whole story. So,
Exactly.
you know, look, there's a saying that says there's your side, there's my side, there's the truth, right? We don't know what the truth is, but what we do know is the Hawks have got to get more out of Trey Young, and Trey Young and the Hawks have got to get more out of his supporting cast. That we can agree upon. And I just, you know, again, Kobe's Kobe's not a rookie. This is what, second year?
Yes, going to second year.
I mean, you know, Ricochet is a rookie. You know, JJ is coming. I kind of, in a way, I'm kind of excited. In a way, I'm kind of not, because I feel like we're going to take a little step back. If we do nothing else, I feel like we're going to take a step back. But you never know. You know, from what they say about Ricochet, he's a 3-and-D guy. He can move with the ball. He can do different things. You put him at the 2, I like it. You put Hunter. If Hunter can stay healthy, God willing, right? That's not a bad squad. Or you can put Bogey out there. I mean, you know, however you want to do it. You could have Ricochet, Kobe coming off the bench. Hopefully we're going to add to this team. But I just feel like ultimately we need 2021 playoff Trey back. Now, if we can get him back for a full season, I'm on board, man, because that dude was bananas. That dude was bananas. And, you know, again, man, some guys have to be, they got to be, Trey has to figure out who he has to be, right? And that sounds stupid. So let me explain. In my job, as you see, there are a bunch of screens behind me. And for the record, my wife said that I was either going to be a very good technician or serial killer. There was no in between, because I am so retentive, and I'm very particular about certain things. And she's absolutely, not that I ever wanted to be a serial killer, but I'm a weird dude. Okay. Now, for me, when I got to get ready for work, I just can't come and sit down. You know, I got to have my morning, you know, whether it's motivational thing going or a song or something. I got to have something to get me going, right? Then I'm good for the rest of the day. But that's me. That's what I figured out, right? What's it going to take for Trey to be playoff Trey? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of headspace do you have to be in to do that, right? You get what I'm saying? Like, whatever you need to do to get you ready to be in that zone, figure that out, because Trey, we count on you. And first and foremost, I think Trey is a great young man. I don't have anything against Trey, the young man. I think that he's a great, phenomenal player. He's a great scorer. He's innovative, creative. He just needs to figure out how to elevate his team, because at the pay rate that he's getting, at the position as a leader of the team, your job is not just to score. Your job is just not to be great. Your job is to get the best out of your teammates. It's to elevate the play out of your teammates. But I've been talking way too long. Let me hear what you have to say. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we want to get him back to that 2021 version where he was just him against the world. You know, we got to remember that year, the Hawks hosted the NBA All-Star game that season. He was not voted as an All-Star, even though he had All-Star numbers. And that kind of like ignited him. And that's kind of what led to that 2021 season. I mean, that's what we see from DJ here. He said, I missed that 2021 playoff run. When we had it, I just want the team to get back to that level of play. Definitely agree. He also says, I still remember people were shocked that we made it that far. And yeah, everyone was shocked, man. That was just a magical run led by a hungry Trey Young. So hopefully this trade inspires him, and it's him versus the world again. We have him also saying Nola got them a dog in Dejounte. Him, Zion, and the rest of the pieces they have are going to look nice.
And they still got Brandon Ingram. Jeez.
They still got him for now.
Jeez.
They're going to have to make some decisions, but I think it's more likely that he's gone. So we'll definitely look into that too. We'll look at their cap space. We got Jays in the building. They're saying they don't win a playoff season this year. Do you think they will start a rebuild? And he has another question for us where he said, what is trade value? So just going back to this question, if they don't win a playoff series this year, do you think they will start to rebuild? When you see that question, I know you say you've been talking, but I want to get your point off first. If we don't make the playoffs, if we finish again in that play-in range, or we just simply don't make the playoffs, do you think that is enough to tear the whole thing down?
I don't think this ownership group wants to do that.
They don't.
I don't. Whenever I hear them speak, I don't get that and that's the ironic thing about all of this. They really want to win.
Right.
They really want to win, and they've made moves, background moves, personnel moves regarding the state. They really want to win. They do. I know this. I have no doubt. It's just how they go about it. So no, I don't think they would rebuild. I think in order to get them to rebuild, you're gonna have to go kicking and screaming, bro. I don't see them. You could do it the next 2 or 3 seasons. I mean, when is Trae Young's contract up? Because that's what it's gonna boil down to. Is can we put a winning product on the court before it's time to re-sign? Because I don't think if we can't do that, I don't think he's gonna re-sign here. I don't. So but no, to answer your question, no, I don't think they will rebuild this year. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, just looking at Trae Young's contract, I agree. I mean, with the timeline coming up, it doesn't make sense to start a rebuild, and we may not have the resources really to rebuild. I mean, I guess we could just trade everybody away for fresh round picks and role players like we did Dejounte, but like you said, I think ownership, they're definitely, determined to win. Unlike you, I think that there is going to be another move. You save $8 million, you get some picks, you get some trade pieces, you have that trade exception. It's fair to say that another move is coming. I think a lot of Hawks fans are expecting Onyeka to take Clint's starting role. So maybe there is one more move where you trade some picks and you put Clint's $22 million and you pick Larry Nance's $12 million together and you go get a star. And you create enough space to where that star can get paid at wherever they're trying to get paid. So maybe it is a BI. He gets the extension. Or maybe it's a big. If you're going to be trading Clint, maybe you can get back a big. And regardless, though, I feel like we're on the same page. I think there has to be one more move, one more big splash. And with that being said, I see us making the playoffs. And again, that will put us in a position where we can't rebuild. So I definitely don't think, the Hawks will ever consider that. And that's why I think, Trae Young's trade value isn't really worth it to the Hawks. When you think about the investment we made, not only did we trade Luka away, but we traded Luka away. We fired coaches. We traded players. We traded Dejounte. So it's like now it's clear that we're all
in. We're all in. Yeah.
We're all in. And I think that, there's nothing out there. Because I really feel like if there was something out there, Trae Young would have been the guy moved. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Trae Young and ownership have this deep connection, that he will never be moved, that he's untouchable.
Mm-hmm.
That may be true, but again, I don't think Trae's trade value is. I mean, when you look at the contract, you look at the length, you look at his play style. what he needs around him to be successful. The
Right there,
baggage that comes with him.
right there, right there, right there, right there.
I
What
don't
you
think
what
a
you
team's
just
willing
said.
to take that risk. The Hawks are.
And see that's but to me it seems like if you have a Trae Young, your shooting guard needs to be big and he
Definitely.
needs to be a defender. Yeah, he needs to score, but he needs to be able to defend to counter Trae. And we need a big who can defend. And I like where we're going. I like the Ricochet pick. I really do. Because I think between he and Klingon, I think Ricochet has a higher ceiling. That's just me with my limited knowledge of basketball. As my son tells me, Dad, you don't know basketball, whatever. But I feel like Ricochet, who's a 3-and-D guy, who's coming in the league, already has handles, looks to be smooth with it, can distribute when he needs to, can pop from three from anywhere on the court. I think, again, and he's 6'9". So he can kind of help Trae. They can switch. They can, he can help Trae out. I like them. I like that. I like that part of it. But you need to consider what you have, right? Like if you have Russell Wilson in football, just to kind of, I know two different sports. Russell doesn't really throw over the middle well. He's more so because he's short. So he's more so I'm going to scramble and I'm going to throw it to who's open. I'm going to throw it to, somebody on the sideline or whatever. You need guys who can burn. If you got Russell Wilson, you need guys who can burn. You need guys who are going to keep running. You need guys who are going to come back to the quarterback. You don't need a guy that just comes out there and stops. And you know what I mean? You need a guy that can understand how to deal with a mobile quarterback in order for them to be successful. Same thing with Trae Young. Trae is a phenomenal talent. You need bigs around him.
Right.
I mean, you need bigs who can defend and shoot. You need guys. The ideal team for Trae would be a bunch of 3-point shooters who are all 6'8", 6'9". Because guess what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna drive in. You know what I mean? I'm gonna shoot this. Oh, you got it. Bam, kick it out. Bam, kick it out. Bam, kick it out. Right?
Yeah.
Woof, woof, woof. You know what I mean? That, in my humble opinion, again, that's what I think would be good. So I like the Ricochet move. If Kobe Bubkin can come out and he's what we say he is, then great, but we won't know, right? And again, there's no experience for experience. So, if you're going to have these guys out here playing, you got to understand we're going to go through some growing pains. So it just depends. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. Let's take a look at what the people are saying on Facebook. Again, this is the details for everybody. This is from Atlanta Hawks home court. They're reporting the Woj bomb that was dropped on everybody. It says full trade details. Pelicans received Dejounte Murray. Hawks received Larry Nance Jr., Dyson Daniels, 2025 first round pick in 2027. But let's take a peek at these comments, man. Hopefully, it's nothing too crazy in here. But we got Kevin saying the Hawks organization is amazing.
It's amazing. I don't
Right.
know what that means. Does that mean like amazing good, or is that sarcasm? Like, what is that? And
I'm sure. I'm sure it has to be sarcasm. Again, we're seeing that BI name come up, Brandon Ingram.
yeah.
People are talking about that. Dyson is good on defense. We're gonna put it up before I let you go. We're gonna just look at Dyson because he's like the one piece
That you think will stick?
Oh yeah. He's well. Who knows? I mean, but I expect him to be on the roster. He feels that AJ, Sadiq Bey, Murray, like he feels multiple roles, and he's
Okay.
gonna be playing defense. Like that's one thing he's known for is defense. But yeah, it looks like a lot of people aren't loving it. We got Peter saying, I have no issue with this move, bringing a good young player and get some draft equity. He thinks that Trae Young is next. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see that. Now, you trade Trae Young, I really do believe like a lot of Hawks fans will revolt. Like, I don't, there's no way I could see you trading them both. Because that really would be blowing it up. Yeah, you trade,
really?
you've blown it up. You've blown it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've blown it up.
Honestly, I did not see Dejounte Murray being traded. Just for what he was able to do when Trey was out. He's had a good attitude. He's been a leader
Mm-hmm.
since he's been here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was you even felt it that it was like Dejounte Murray was trying to be big bro for Trey and say, okay, this is your team,
Mm-hmm.
but this is kind of how you should do things.
Right. Right.
Because there's definitely like two types of leaders. There's people that lead from the front, lead from the back, and I think DJ was definitely the guy that was going to lead from the front, and he wasn't going to tell Trey what to do. Like I said, he wasn't going to be the guy in the back telling him what to do, but he was going to be out in front and say, okay, this is how you talk to the media. This is how you hold interviews. This is how you treat your teammates. This is how you deal with the media. And, they both share the same birthday, and it's just the more I look at this, only thing I can think is that the next big splash is Trae Young.
I can't see that. Lord, my Lord, I hope not. Now that, hey, I hope you are wrong.
Right.
No disrespect to you, Mark. You are my guy, but I hope to God you're wrong. Like, no. Who are we gonna get back? And then no, because that would be a rebuild. And I just think with the current climate, the Falcons have clearly ascended. The Braves have been good for a while. Then you gonna trade Trae Young in that? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, hey, I didn't see him trading Dejounte, so what do I know? But that's gonna be hard to watch. That's gonna be hard to watch. Like no Trae Young. I don't know about that. I hope not.
Hey,
I hope not.
Trust me, we on the same page at this point. I hope not.
Oh, that's tough, man.
There's definitely no one out there at this point that would justify moving both players unless someone just gave us a deal we couldn't pass, and maybe that's why you moved DJ is because or maybe that's why they're both moved is because maybe they will be upset with one of these guys being moved. And again, that's what brings me back to the Trae Young point, where it's like, okay, well, Trae Young was a big reason why Dejounte was here. So if you trade him, wouldn't that hypothetically upset your superstar? Like, especially when you look at this package. You trade the guy that I wanted. You didn't really give us enough time to prove that we can work. We want to make it work. And then when you trade him, you bring back, Dyson Daniels. Larry Nance. So again, it almost feels like there's a chance. There is a chance that Trae Young could be on his way out because how could you trade his sidekick and expect him to be happy with what we got back?
And that's why I say maybe there's another move coming. Because I see your point. I see your point. I do. That's a good point. That's a salient point. I get it. But that's going to be hard to watch.
The only player you can get at this point is Trae Young's best friend and Michael Porter Jr. And even that really wouldn't make sense because he's not going to take you over the top. But to me, it's like if you're going to trade my sidekick, well, you better go get another one of my sidekicks. Like it's almost like if you're a manager and one of your guys are getting promoted, well, you're happy that he's getting the opportunity. But at the same time, you're looking, you're looking at, like, hey, y'all better bring in someone good. So
yeah, no, that's a good point, Mark. I didn't think about that. But that's also you referenced a scary thought earlier. I don't know about that, man. Like who's gonna watch that? Who's gonna watch that? And then how long will we have to watch it? Like, are we in salary cap hell? How long would we be indebted? How long would we have to deal with this indentured servitude to where we'd have to be responsible to the cap hits? Like if we traded Trae, is there a cap hit next year that we'd have to go through, or would it just end this year?
No, that's a good thing about basketball. When you trade that contract, the other team is fully responsible. So we traded Trey, we get down to what, about negative 10 million, then you probably would trade Clint. And I think that's kind of where I'm looking at it. Again, this is a crazy take right now because, again, the focus is Dejounte Murray getting traded to New Orleans. But I actually would not be mad if we just accepted that we are not a contending team and we try to really just build around this first pick and we take it step by step. Because again, these guys had the same birthday, and recently they had the same tweet. I don't know if you saw it, but they both tweeted like this hourglass thing. And matter of fact, since we're on Twitter and Trae Young loves Twitter, let's see if Trae Young said anything. He hasn't said anything yet. He's been posting these videos. He's
still throwing stuff on the wall.
Yeah.
He's like, what? His agent is like, Trey, calm down.
They just had a podcast on Bleacher Report, but let me see if I find the tweet. When he tweeted this, it caught a lot of people's attention, and it was an hourglass emoji, and everyone thought it was interesting. Everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, Trey is so dramatic." Just these kids with social media, man, the things they do with unfollowing and these cryptic tweets and cryptic things, like it's like they're really engaged with it on social media. But here it is. So June 20th, 8 days ago, Trae Young tweeted this hourglass emoji, caught everybody's attention. Everyone was like, yo, what does this mean? Oh my gosh, the world is ending. Trae Young is out of here. And then shortly after, Dejounte Murray tweeted the same hourglass emoji. Now, with hindsight, we can look back and we say, okay, well, they both tweeted the same thing. And Dejounte tweeted it last, and he was actually traded. So, again, could this be a cryptic? Could this be the sign left? I know you said, you didn't say this, but I know that, your wife said you would be a serial killer. Is this something you would do? Would you leave like this little cryptic tweet to, let the fans know, hey, this trade's been happening. Me and Dejounte Murray.
Yeah, we saw it coming.
We saw it coming. It's not us. It's ownership.
Well, I'm a Scorpio, so I'm petty. I probably would. I probably would.
I think Trey. Oh no, I think they were born in. Yeah, I don't think they're Scorpios.
They're born in when?
I want to say I can't remember when they were born, like August 24th or something like that.
Oh no, they're not Scorpios.
Yeah, no, Scorpios are definitely petty.
Yeah,
definitely petty.
Yeah, so I would have. I think, you know what? I think the most Scorpio thing ever.
September 19th?
No, they're either Virgos or Libras. One of the two.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
But you said what about Dave?
The most pettiest thing ever, like in Dave Chappelle's comedy special when he first came back, he said that he bombed in Detroit and he was so mad at Detroit that he went out and bought like 200 million wrappers of gum or 200,000 wrappers of gum and gave them to the homeless so they could chew and still be hungry. I thought that, like, that's petty, man. That is the definition of petty. Like, think about that. Because they tell you not to chew gum when you're hungry because it fools your stomach, right? Because your stomach think, oh, I got some food, and it doesn't happen. But to really put that amount of thought into it and be like, I'm gonna go out and buy 2,000 packs of gum and give them to the homeless so they can chew it. That's petty as hell, man. Like that's petty. That's just wow. But I probably would have done something. I don't know, man. I really don't want to lose Trey. Like, but I mean, they got to do what they got to do. But I hope not. God, because that is not something I want to see. Like a Trae Young, no Trae Young. So who's gonna be your guard? So you got Bufkin and Ricochet. Like who would you bring in? Oh man. Oh,
I mean, it depends on what type of package you can get. I mean, I don't see too many guys available, but maybe there's a guard available that they're like, you know what, we got to get this guy, so we got to move some money around, and Dejounte wouldn't like if we traded Trey. Trey wouldn't like if we traded Dejounte, so we got to trade both of them and just build around this new guy.
That's an
You know,
interesting point, man. But you know what that's going to take? You know what that's going to take? That's going to take a set of brass ones, sir. Because your fans are going to be upset. Like I don't know that this regime has the audacity to do that.
to
And
be
maybe
honest
they
though,
do. I could be wrong.
to trade DJ, to trade DJ for this package, you definitely got some brass beat, so let's catch up with the chat real quick. We got Wallace in the building. What's up,
What's up,
Wallace?
Wallace? What's going on, man?
What's up, bro? Always showing love. Appreciate you. We got my mom in the building saying, wow. Wow. Yes.
Hey,
You,
Mark's mom.
you got Mom Dukes in the building.
That's
My mom
right.
would say,
She's supporting her son. That's good, man. That's good.
oh,
That's
yeah. Yeah.
good. Shout out to your mom, man. That's good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Huge shout out to my mom. Huge shout out to my mom. My mom's definitely been a huge supporter. And recently, some of her pushes is actually what inspired me to go live these past couple
That's
of days.
awesome, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. That is awesome. Treasure your mom.
Oh, yeah.
Because one day, so hey man, that's awesome. I think that's great that your mom supports you, and you are a lucky man. I miss my mom every day, bro. So that is a great thing. But go ahead. I'm sorry, you were talking.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. And obviously, I've here and there, I've seen what you had to go through recently. So
Yeah,
definitely condolences to you, man. But
yeah.
you should be proud of yourself. How you're carrying yourself, and how you keeping your parents' legacy going. So
We
hey,
try, man. We try. We try. But that's a lot of family support from my wife and children and mother-in-law and friends, and just it's amazing at what God will do when you go through something. Because there's no way I would have got through this alone, and God said I got you, and He's done it. And so all praises to Him, because it had nothing to do with me, bro. Nothing to do with me. I thank Him for number one, being in this seat and being here, and just hey man, it's a new time for me. But this ain't about me, bro. This is about you. This is about your show. So let's get to it. It's not about me.
Hey, trust me. No, that's definitely what we're here for.
Yes,
so
sir.
definitely shout out to all the moms, shout out to God.
Yeah, definitely.
We're definitely grateful to be here.
Amen.
So we got Wallace Smith saying we knew that they were going to trade one of them, and I thought it would be Murray instead of Trey.
I did too. I don't see him doing both. I'm with Wallace on this one. It's funny. I'm with Wallace a lot. Wallace and I agree with each other a lot. But so Wallace, hey, you know what it is. But I just can't see them doing both, Mark. Like, bro, do you know how pissed off these people would be? How pissed off my beloved Atlanta fans, my beloved Atlanta peers would be. They'd be, oh my gosh. I don't think they want those problems. I don't, because to your point, we were on a podcast and somebody brought up the environment and the amenities and whatever and all of that. But I don't think you could overcome the loss of both Trey and Dejounte unless you had a real quick recovery time, like 2 years. And I just don't see that happen, because in most rebuilds, it's typically a 4-year process at a minimum. And I don't know. I don't know. If let's play devil's advocate. If we were to rebuild, right? Let's just game it out. Right. How long would it take before we would be out of cap hell and we could go out and spend some money and build around the rookies that we have? Like what?
Now, we got free agency coming up in 2 days. So, 6:00 on June 30th. So now, you move Trey, Clint, you got all this money and trade exceptions you got. Yeah, I think now, but then again, I don't think there's anyone in free agency worth like blowing it up for and trying to do like a little mini rebuild or a quick rebuild.
Yeah.
But either way, it wouldn't take long. It wouldn't take long because other than Trey Young, we don't have any like super big contracts.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hunter's contract, that's a friendly contract. I'll even pull it up real quick again. And then Anyaka's contract, that's a friendly team contract. So I think overall it wouldn't take too long to bounce back if that's the route we want it to go. But like you said, a lot of people don't want to. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to hear that. So yeah, we got Bogey. Bogey's contract should be ending soon. Jalen Johnson's due for an extension. I think he can be extended this year, so I'm sure that's something we'll do. Um, but yeah, I mean, again, it's a lot to look at. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely a lot to look at. Again, shout out to my mom. Wallace is saying Murray was a mistake trade from the beginning and giving up 3 first-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually a great point. I think that was a bad pivot for this franchise. You know, if you're going to go all in and get somebody going with Trey, to your point, you get a bigger guard, you get a bigger wing that can
Mm-hmm.
shoot threes and can play defense.
Right.
You don't get a taller Trey Young. Not that Murray is as electric, but I mean, we saw the stats. I mean, again, this is what Murray was able to do without Trey Young. This is.
Murray, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, I was just saying that, this, we already looked at this before, but this is what Murray was able to do.
Yeah. And look, let me say this. I would not have had the stones to trade Trey Young, but it probably would have been the better move. I would not I would not have the brass, to trade Trey Young, because understand there was going to be hell to pay. But if you got to do it, that is probably the better move, because all you got to do is look at the points allowed.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is look at the points allowed, right? Like if you score 130, but you give up 131, you're gonna lose every time.
Every time.
What's up, Jack Spade, my friend, mentor. What's up, man? What's going on?
One time in the building. Hey, one time. Hey, Jack. Hey, you already know how we do it, man. You're more than welcome to come. I should have been dropped this link. We've been so lost in the sauce. You're more than welcome to come through. You already know how it goes. If you do, great. If you don't, great. But definitely good to see you, Jack.
Jump on, Jack.
Yeah, anyone is more than welcome to come on. We'll continue this conversation.
Let's talk about it.
Definitely love to hear more. He says he's playing Elden Ring.
Okay. Jack's a big gamer. Jack is a big
really?
Gamer. Yeah, man. He plays a lot of FIFA, a lot of tournaments on Twitch, and he's pretty darn good, man. He's pretty darn good. So I sound old as hell. He's pretty darn good. That Jack he's something. But yeah, man. 2021 playoffs. Think about the old days. They are the old days. I hear that, man. You can't move forward and backward at the same time. Agree with you 100%. Agreed. But I mean, honestly, I think the better move would have been to trade Dejounte, because Trey's contract is bigger. You probably get more for him, and you probably could make more moves. Now, I wouldn't have had the stones to do that. I'm not going to be the one. You're not going to be throwing eggs at my car. I wouldn't have done it, But if we're saying, what up, Chris? What's going on, man? Hop on with us.
Hey, we got A1 in the building. Hey, like I said, the link is in the chat. Y'all more than welcome to
hop on, Chris.
Hey, I would love. Matter of fact, we gotta get Chris on here, because Chris, he knows his Hawks basketball. He was in attendance for the draft party.
Yes, he does.
He talked to some of the top names around Atlanta sports, from whether it's Falcons or Hawks. So again, we would love, Tip to come through, bless the stage. But yeah, man. Or excuse me, were you making a point?
No, you're good, man. Chris, look, anytime, bro. Whatever point I was making, it doesn't matter. Chris, hop on. Let's go.
That's what I'm saying. Pull up. And it's funny.
Man, there you go. What you young folks say? Pull up, Chris.
I say pull up, man. Pull up, even if it's for a minute. It's funny. When I man, my phone was blowing up, man. I'm in the bed, and but what actually why I looked at my phone though is because I got Facebook message. I was like, who messaged me on Facebook? like the other text I don't care about. Like I was literally
It's and not to cut you off. It's in the link, Chris.
Oh,
It's earlier. Just drop it again. Just drop it
yeah.
again. We're
Yeah, I
gonna
might
drop it
have to.
again, Chris.
Yeah, I might have to. I think it was doing this for me too on when I was looking at this yesterday. But I'm gonna send it to him. But
Yeah.
I forgot what point I was just making. But yeah, man, Chris, pull up. I might have dropped the link in here real quick.
You can send it to him on Twitter or
Oh yeah,
Facebook or whatever.
yeah, I
I
see
think
it.
he's on Twitter a lot.
Oh, I think he was messaging from yours, so he don't see it. But yeah, Chris.
You know what? Let me grab it and see if I can drop it to him on Facebook. Chris, I'm about to drop it to you on Facebook.
But yeah, definitely love Chris to come pull up, bless the stage. Man, it's a lot to talk about, man. We looked at Dyson Daniels a little bit. It looked like he has some versatility. It looks like Larry Nance is definitely going to be a guy that we let go. Just continue to, look at everything on Twitter, man. See what the people are saying. We got Hawks Muse saying this was a great move for Atlanta. Dyson Daniels is a great defender and is a promising young player. Trading DJ allows us to help Hawks with spacing. Larry Nance is a great lob threat. We get 2 solid first picks. And I was about to say, I had to come straight to the comments because I disagree with this energy. This was not.
He said, I disagree with this energy.
This was not a great move.
I totally disagree with this energy.
Great move. I mean, I understand being optimistic.
I wouldn't say great move, but then again, hey, I don't know basketball like y'all do, but I in my humble opinion, no, I wouldn't say it was a great move. I would not. Now, again, if we could have got back Bi, I feel better about it.
Right.
Because I feel like you got 20 points for 20 points. Bi is a little bigger. You probably can do more with them. I'm okay with that, and really, that's what Trey needs at the 2. You know what I mean? Like, okay. I would have, but yeah, I can't get behind this, man. I mean, I get it, I understand it, I have to accept it, but I can't. Yeah. I'm with you. I disagree with that energy. You know what? That's good. Next time my wife and I get into an argument, I'll be like, "Hey, Tim, I disagree with that energy that you are projecting to me right now. I don't agree with it." And yeah.
Hey, trust me, I said it to my girl Plenty, so. Even if it's me, we got energy around here. But speaking of energy, man, I feel like this cat got some of the dopest energy in this YouTube space, man. If you don't know his name is Chris Tipmore. He's holding it down on 94 North Sports Machine. He's holding it down on A1 forever.
Yep.
I'm talking about he's just doing his dang thing, man. And like I said, the number one thing is energy. He has super dope energy. So we're gonna bring Chris Tipmore to the stage.
Bring him on.
And we're gonna also bring on ROG. ROG, if you ask me, he's one of the best supporters in Atlanta sports content. I mean, he shows love to everybody, he helps everyone get into the algorithm. And his name is Wallace Smith. So we have 2 great guests.
Wallace.
Yes, we have 2 great guests, man. We're gonna get everyone on the stage. We're gonna have a conversation, man.
Let's do it.
We're gonna have a conversation and we're gonna play a game. So let me get this comment off, make sure everybody can be seen. So like I said, we got Tip in the building. Tip is actually not on the screen, but we will be able to hear his voice. Then we got our guy Wallace Smith in the building.
What's up, Wallace? What's up, Chris? What's going on?
What's going on, fella?
Yeah, what's going on, fellas? I'm just doing a little background work right now, but I can still, move and shake while I do that there.
Hey, well, Chris, talk to us, man. I know you're in the background, but what was your initial reaction when you heard the news?
Well, my initial reaction was different from my actual reaction because at first I just seen Larry Nance and 2 first rounders, and that was it. And then I was like, okay. And then, then Dyson Daniels came down, and it cushioned the blow a little bit. But at the same time, regardless, do I like it? The fan in me doesn't like it because it's not really like a sexy trade, to be honest with you. But beggars can't be choosers at the same time. We had no draft picks at all before the trade. I don't even want to lose DJ. I wanted to run it back with Trey and DJ and try to see if we can make some other kind of moves. We hired a salary cap guy, to maybe try to, cushion the blows, that we had going on with the salary cap. But when you look back and analyze it, somebody had to go. Somebody had to go. And moving forward, I just want to see more moves. It has to be more moves coming.
Agreed.
It has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no way in the world that this is the last thing that y'all gonna do. It bet not be.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, we got to kind of sit back and wait and see what happens. They don't took Risha Shea, don't took Nikola Jokic. So they've already traded one first round pick. Now they've traded Dejounte Murray. It's rough, man. It's rough for Hawks fans. I understand. Like I really feel sympathetic to how they feel and how Hawks Twitter is feeling. They hate the trade, and I understand because Larry Nance Jr. Just even hearing that name, you like what?
Right.
So I'm sorry,
That's
just
what I
hearing
think.
that name. He's a
Agreed.
veteran journeyman forward, regardless of regardless of who his dad was.
Mm-hmm.
He is a veteran journeyman forward.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that issue. Dyson Daniels, I do like a lot. I do like Dyson Daniels a lot. That's why I said it at least kind of cushioned it a little bit. But when you dive into those first round picks, they're not the same first rounders that you're getting back. What we sent out was some good picks, and what we get back are more like Hail Marys because you got to hope for the Lakers to suck.
Yeah.
I think they will be. I don't think they're gonna suck because they still got good players, but we'll see what they do in the offseason. That's their problem. But we got to hope for that in 2025. Then 2027, you're still taking the least value between the Bucks and the Pelicans pick. So
Right.
so whoever's the least favorable. So it's not sexy when you break it all the way down, but you do have assets to hopefully make more moves. That's what I'm. That's what I'm gonna hang my hat on at the end of the day on the hat rack. I'm gonna hang my hat on that. We're gonna make some more moves. We got some more stuff down the pipeline.
Yeah.
That's all we got. Right now at present day, ground zero. That's all we got is hope, and because if not, there's going to be a lot of questions that need to be answered. And we already got people saying fire the front office, sell the team, burn down State Farm Arena. I'm like, boy, it's getting crazy. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's definitely gonna be interesting to see what's next. So that leads me to my question to you, Wallace. I want to hear your instant reaction. I think I have an idea. You've mentioned it in the chat, but do you think there's another move coming, Wallace? Do you think there's something else we don't know?
Yeah, I think there's another move coming. Might be
Mm.
Capella.
So do you think we're gonna upgrade the center position, or are we gonna move
Yeah,
Capella and his money for a star?
yeah, move him and his money, just like they did
Mm.
with Dejounte Murray. They had to move him and his money. So even though, and they couldn't go in next year not having a first round pick until 2028. So they had to,
Right.
so they took a sacrifice and just gave up Murray to get at least 2 first round picks back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So basically, as of now, we're looking at it like we traded DeJounte Murray we traded 3 first picks. I'm trying to think of the overall move together. So when we go back in time, we traded 3 unprotected picks to get DJ, and we traded
yeah,
DJ for 2 picks. So we pretty much spent a first round pick to experiment with DeJounte Murray. Do you
yeah. So
think that was
they
a successful trade?
Yeah, they realized they made a mistake, just like Slink was trying to tell them before they did the trade. And then when they did the trade, he just, he left the team.
I'm
So
telling
Right.
you.
now they realize that they messed up. So now they're gonna trade him away and try to at least get something back for him.
It was
Mm.
so funny. so funny that you said that because I was having a conversation with somebody and I said, well, this is really when you step outside of it, step outside of the fandom of it. This is nothing but them just saying, my bad, our bad. Okay, let's try something else.
Right. That is
That's
true.
all it is. It's a cover up. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? You messed up. So you dug a hole. Now you don't put the mess up in the hole and cover it up with a shovel. Now you're trying to keep going.
Yep.
Yeah. No, hey, that is a great point. You look at it from that perspective again. We kind of experimented, and then when we re-signed him, we got him at a good price, and we're not stuck with the money.
Yeah.
So overall, just starting from you, T. Will, and we'll go through everybody. Was this a successful experiment? Like, did we learn something valuable? Like, are we a better franchise going forward? What do you think, T. Will?
With the Dejounte trade,
Just the
I
overall experiment, was it worth it? Like, is there something that we like? Is there a positive in it at the end of the day?
I mean, there could be. I like to see the glass half full. I could see how some may not. There could maybe we know what doesn't work. And maybe Trey and DeJounte learned from each other, and maybe they've made each other better. I don't know. I find myself having to dig, to be honest with you, for that.
Right,
If you're looking at the results on the court, I would say, yeah. I mean, it's pretty much a wash. I mean, I like DeJounte, and maybe to be fair, you could have given it a little more time, right?
right.
So there's that. I try to be positive. So ultimately, I'd like to imagine that we learned something. What that is, I don't know, right? Whether that is, maybe when it comes to a ball dominant point guard, you should get somebody that can move without the ball and do other things and doesn't have to have the ball.
Mm.
Maybe that's it. I don't know. Mr. Wallace, I do have a question for you. What are you eating, sir? It looks delicious. What are you over there eating? I'm kind of
That was
jealous.
a sneaker bar ice cream.
Man, it looked
Ooh.
delicious. I'm jealous. I'm jealous. So that's all I want to know. Hey, Chris Wallace, what do you guys think? Do you think that this DeJounte Trey experiment was a success? What are your thoughts on it? And go ahead, Chris. We'll start.
Oh, you want to start me? Okay. As far as a success, I mean, how can you really make it a success? How can you really even call it a success?
Right.
There was no secession in it. What I mean, we have a nickname, and we're called the Hawks Playing Invitational. I mean, we got that out of it.
Wow.
Right.
I'm just saying what has already been said. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to bash anything. Like I said, as a player, I like DeJounte Murray, the player. As far as like how he treats his family and I'm saying talks about loyalty and everything like that, I appreciate stuff like that. Those are the type of players that you do want, or at least the personalities you want in your locker room. But at the end of the day, the front office decided they wanted to go a different way from somebody who was experienced already in the game. And that's fine. You do what you want, you know what I'm saying? But it has to work. It's similar to, what I'm saying, like when the Falcons hired Terry and wanted him to clean up the salary cap and all those things like that.
Right.
That was their
Mm.
decision, but it had to work. And as far as that goes, the jury could be still out, but so far it seems like it's heading in the right direction. I mean, was this headed in the right direction? I wanted to run it back again. I feel like we bailed out on it too soon because it was only his second year. And I if have been comparing it to Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum. But the only problem is those are two totally different players, situations, front offices. I can keep going on and on and on. But you can't call this a success at all because the plan is over with. You're trying to recoup draft picks in any possible way. If we didn't make the move, we would still have nothing. Now, it's bittersweet, but we at least we do have some assets again to try to do something. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? When we woke up this morning, we had no draft picks, right? We
Yeah.
had no assets, correct? You know what I'm saying? And now we still can try to make another move, like maybe get rid of Capella's contract. Because nobody's taking an expiring contract without at least something back. That's 22 mil they would have to still eat. They still gonna at least maybe want a draft pick, a player, something. So
Right.
that's one aspect of it. Then you still got to try to see who in the world you can bribe to take DeAndre Hunter's contract if you want to move him.
Right.
Now, you know, I like DeAndre Hunter off the bench, but that's an expensive player coming off the bench, considering the fact that as his contract goes on, he gets paid more money.
Yeah.
So
Right.
who's taking that contract when he doesn't have the availability like that or the stats to match it?
Right. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. There you go, making sense again.
Yeah,
Agreed.
definitely great points, man. Definitely great points. We're gonna continue this conversation. I know T Will has to depart. It's funny, man. We came on here, we said we're gonna go for like 20 minutes, and here we are. So, hey, I appreciate you. Let everybody know where they can find you going forward. Like I said, and thank you again.
Mark, first off, thanks for having me. Hey, man, and I'm here. So whenever you need me, just call. I'm here. Love to do it. I can be found at For My ATL Sports 1 on YouTube. The ATL in ATL Sports is capitalized again. That's For My ATL Sports 1 on YouTube. You can also find me at One Time for the Fan. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, obviously, for Mark's channel and for mine. And again, Mark, congratulations on being a part of the Thou Wow Club. That's 1,000. That's 1,000.
I appreciate
Congratulations. Wallace, good seeing you, man, as
Yes,
always.
good
Yeah.
seeing you
Chris,
too.
hey, good to talk to
Always,
you,
brother.
man. Hey, and Wallace, I'm about to go and get me some of those Snickers. You done
All
made me
right.
you. Right.
hungry, man. So I'm letting y'all know. Hey, you guys have a good night. Chris, y'all have a good one. Y'all take care.
All right, you too.
All right, thanks.
I appreciate you, man. Yeah,
Yes,
again, I was
sir.
well. So Wallace, again, I'll pass the mic to you. Just please continue to share your thoughts on this move overall. I know you said in the chat that you think it was a good move. Why do you think it was a good move?
'Cause like I said, you getting at least recouping some of that those 3 first round picks that they gave away for Dejounte. So you did get a little something, and you got a rotational big man, and then you get another wing player. So now most teams are trying to do their teams like Boston Celtics and have more wing players
Right.
that can match up with them.
So you think we're gonna keep um Larry Nance? You think that he could potentially play that 4 or 5? You still think we'll move Clint, or do you think that Larry Nance is just here momentarily?
He probably gonna be here for the first year for like for a rotational piece, just to help out with the big men because he's been like you say he's been in the league for a while, so that he's been with a lot of teams, so he's a real experienced in playing both positions.
Yeah, yeah, because it made me think when you had said it, I didn't ever really consider him sticking with the team at all. But I'm thinking, wow, I guess if you do move Clint, you could
Yeah,
run a Yeka and Nance, backcourt or excuse me, front court. So that's interesting. Still don't love it,
and then
but
you still got what's the other guy that played last year when Big O got hurt that they brought off
Bruno,
the.
Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno's still there.
yeah, yeah, and I think we'll have to have a conversation with him in a couple of days. I think he's a
Hmm.
restricted free agent? Is he restricted, Chris?
I believe Bruno. I believe he has 1 year left on the deal from when we had traded for him from Rockets. So I think this is like his final year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I got it pulled up here. Yeah, so it looks like he's actually signed with us. We have a team option for 2 more seasons. So next
Okay,
year
okay.
we'll have a team option. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, we'll have him this year for just under $3 million, and the next year for just under $3 million, we'll have that team option. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see what's next. I'm gonna go around the panel. I'm curious, man. I know at least me and Wallace on the same page. But what's one guy you expect to be in Atlanta, or you would like to be in Atlanta now? Because I think there's one more move.
Who I would like to be in Atlanta. Well, I'm not sure about big moves. My thing is about the big moves. You gotta look at the big fish that's out there, and it's really like what Paul George, and
Right.
he's a, I guess you can say, a premium player. But it's like, gosh, Lee, it's like you really wish you could make a different move. It's in a different year. But and you don't want to waste a year because Trey wants to win now. I understand that too. But moves still have to be made. Um, oh boy. The small move that I want to see is at least try to go get a big man. Try to get rid of Clint. Try to see if you can get a big man in return. Walker Kessler is out there. He's been rumored in trades. He's from Atlanta. He's 7-1. You could possibly probably bring him in on his rookie deal, which he's still on his rookie deal.
Yeah.
You can still do that. James Wiseman. I mean, he's a guy who's battled some injury, but you don't even have to trade for him. You can just pick him up. So use him as a rotational piece, another 7-footer. We are 6'10" and below. So, having some extra height, it wouldn't hurt. Having some extra front court help wouldn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be battling against, different bigs. And if you want to run out there with a Yucca or Conwoo, okay, well, at least you'll have somebody who can back him up because Wiseman, he played 17 minutes last year, but he still averaged like 7 points and with about 5 rebounds. If you can get 25 minutes out of them, if you bring them in and get about 10 points or 8 rebounds, I feel like, that's enough, especially if you bring him in on the veteran minimum. So those are just small moves to try to, not have us spending too much money because it seems like we never want to do that anyway. So
Right.
those are just small moves. Like I necessarily don't have any big moves right now. I have to sit back and think about that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. Wallace, is there anybody you can think of? Anybody? I know Brandon Ingram's a name, right? Everyone's saying Brandon Ingram, especially now
Yeah.
with the trade with New Orleans. Is there
They,
anybody or any position you can think of the Hawks could upgrade in the trade?
no, I don't see them going to get no big name player that's going to cost more money than when you just got
Mm-hmm.
rid of somebody that was getting 120. So I don't see no
Right.
big name player coming in, but somebody like a small name kind of fill a role. And if you're trying to get rid of Capella to free up that money, so you probably bring in some like a not no big name person, but somebody that's pretty solid to play in the paint.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm just trying to think of names. I can't think of. I mean, obviously, there's guys out there. When they pop up, we're like, oh yeah, kind of like you said, Chris, the Wisemans of the world. Maybe you take a swing. I know a lot of people have been speaking on Aiton. He may be available.
Yeah, I've been seeing that. Like, you think people think they want to get rid of Aiden?
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, what they just got him, right? They just traded for him.
Yeah,
I feel like it's like an experimental type of thing. See if you can maybe strike gold.
And he got
But
a big contract too that when he got from Phoenix.
yeah,
indeed.
yeah, he does.
The one that we didn't want to give him anyway, and that's why we didn't trade for him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, no, that's definitely true. Oh, we got comments from Josh. We got Josh in the building saying we got fleeced, and we got Jay Black saying just heard about the DM trade, and I am disheartened. So, do you guys think we got fleeced? Let's start there.
No,
Uh,
we knew they was gonna move one of them, so I don't
Yeah,
think we got
that's
fleeced.
the only reason. Like, if this came out of nowhere, I mean, don't get me wrong, it came out of nowhere. But I'm saying, like, if we ain't hear no trade talks about DJ or trade, then it would be more shocking, and it probably would hurt a little bit more. But it's not a sexy trade. I said that when I first came on. It's not a sexy trade. DJ is not a sexy name like that. Yes, I will admit you could have got more for Trey, but how are you trading Trey Young when the coach and said player said they need each other in order to win?
That's what I'm saying. It's
So I'm
questionable.
just so I just didn't see how that would happen, how a trade would get traded unless it was just something that you just really couldn't turn down, like something crazy like, oh, 7 first round picks all unprotected. It had to be something that crazy, in order to trade Trey Young for real. And
Yeah.
then you still probably get some players back after that. You see how crazy that trade sounds, but that would it have to take to really pry Trey Young away from the organization, I believe.
Yeah. No, I
And I don't
agree.
and I don't think they were gonna trade him anyway, because like I said, he the face of the franchise, so
Amen.
they
Now
weren't gonna
you
trade him.
he is. I'm sorry. He is the he has what made the Hawks relevant since I'll say since his rookie season, because he came in with some highlights in his rookie season. And so
Hmm.
he made the Hawks relevant. Are you gonna trade your biggest star since Dominique? I just didn't see it happening.
Yeah.
Especially when our owner, I mean, come on, don't get me wrong, every owner does. But I'm just saying, we know our owner likes to make money, but likes to, what I'm saying, do it under the cap. So
Right.
if he's gonna do it, he's gonna keep Trey because he knows, and shout out to Steve Holman, you know what I'm saying, because he said this himself. When you go around to these arenas, you're seeing more and more 11 jerseys, more and more 11 jerseys. That's Trey Young. Regardless of what's going on in the season, you're seeing people coming from out of town with 11 jerseys, opposing fans with 11 jerseys. So just going back to Waller's point, he's the face of the franchise. It's evident.
Yeah. No, that much is clear. That much is clear. Let's catch up with Josh. I see him. He has a couple of different points I think is interesting. So he said none of the picks we got are going to be good for double downs. And he said 2 picks in the 20s with Dyson Daniels and Larry Nance is a major fleece. He also said Murray had more value than Trey. A lot of people said that already. Trey ain't getting close to 7 first. So
No, and I never said that Trey would. I just said it would have to be a crazy trade. I like something that they just could not turn down to get rid of Trey. I'm just talking about the front office. I ain't saying that he's worth it. All I'm saying is if that deal came across the table, then that's how I see the Hawks getting rid of Trey Young. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that DJ had more. I'm not saying that Trey had more or whatever. I feel like Trey had more trade value because of the contract and the accolades. More All-Star appearances. Stuff like that. Little things, little nuances like that would factor into Trey Young's contract and his value. But I ain't saying that DJ ain't have no value. DJ definitely had value. I wanted to keep DJ and trade together. So I mean, let's not lose sight of that. I didn't. It is what it is. We can't have. We don't have no control over it. I don't like it personally, but it is what it is. We had to make a move, and I don't think that we got fleeced only because we have to see if any more moves are coming. If if we go into the season and this is all we done, man, listen.
yeah. Yeah, no, I agree 1,000%. Like as of now, it's not looking too good, but there has to be some more moves. Either way, this move opens up playing time for Kobe, opens up playing time for Ricochet at the 2 potentially. Maybe Ricochet starts at the 2. But I guess my question to you all, and who knows? I'm keeping an eye on everything, but this might be one of the last topics before we get out of here. Is who is next? I know we talked about Clinton is 22, but do y'all see an opportunity for Clint to be paired up with DeAndre Hunter, Clint to be packaged up with Bogey? Do y'all think that Dre's position is safe with the selection of Zachary Richardson?
Oh boy, that's rough just to even think about. I believe.
I mean, because you got to think we got rid of DJ, we got rid of AJ.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm
Like
glad we
those
got rid of
are
AJ, man. Free that man because I think he just fell out of favor in Atlanta.
yeah, he did.
Yeah, man. So, oh, to be honest with you, I think DeAndre Hunter still may be one of the last ones to go, man. Just because I'm still trying to figure out who taking that contract, who would want to.
Mm.
I
That's
think
all
Hunter
I'm
gonna be.
thinking
I think
about.
Hunter gonna be safe.
I think so
Mm.
too. Just off of the contract alone, I think he gonna be in Atlanta, and he just gonna have to be an expensive bench player because I expect Ricochet to be starting at least by the end of next season. I
Oh
can
yeah.
see him coming off the bench because maybe Hunter has to start because of the contract.
Mm.
So who we gonna have at the two now that Murray is gone?
Uh,
Look,
I
it's either him or Bogey.
or if another move comes in, do y'all guys feel comfortable with Dyson Daniels at the two? I mean, not necessarily. I mean, he's still
I
only a
think
second year
he
guy.
more of a wing, more three player
I agree,
than a
and
two.
I agree with that, Mr. Wallace. I do. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, definitely more of a
And I don't know,
wing.
they might want to keep
okay, let
Bogey.
me ask y'all this real quick. Do y'all feel comfortable game one of the regular season starting with Ricochet in the starting lineup? You haven't seen anything of what he's done yet in the summer league or anything. I'm just present day off of what you've seen from film or highlights or whatever.
Well, I mean, I think one thing you have to consider is the politics behind it. And he was the number one pick. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
there's not too many times you see a number one pick not starting. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think, and I've always said if you're going to get Ricochet, I understand it. I understand the fit, but I think to get the most out of him would be not necessarily starting him, but playing him at the two. So yeah, I mean, I personally can see him day one starting next to Trey Young, and then I guess you got to start Dre now. So as of now, you're looking at a Trey Young, Ricochet, Hunter, Jalen,
JJ.
and
Mm-hmm.
then there's no way Clint gonna be here. There's no way Clint gonna be here.
That'll be
So
interesting.
I mean, because I know you mentioned Dre coming off the bench being an expensive like six man, but you don't think he'll be a starter next year? Like you don't think he's kind of like penciled in as a starter?
Technically, because of the rookies we have, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I believe if you don't move him, he's going to be a starter by default because of the contract and because of the veteran experience.
Right.
I mean, regardless of how we feel about him, he does got stuff on film that's going to put him over, let's say, a Dyson Daniels in the second year. I'm not saying that these guys won't eventually start over him, but to start the season, I can see Dre back in the starting lineup because the Hawks will probably just want to see what he can do, if he can contribute. Again, I like Dre off the bench just because he's already got a surgically repaired body, and I want to preserve it as much as we possibly can. It's just we've already gave him that price tag, and it's just like, all right, bro, my goodness, like we've paid you, and we kind of got to put you in the starting lineup sometimes. So
Yeah.
it's tough because his production doesn't scream starting lineup. It Well, no, let me take that back. I'm gonna say the production because his availability isn't always there. So his availability, if we can get 75 games or 70 games out of DeAndre Hunter, I think you can roll with that for the price tag.
Right.
But
Mm-hmm.
we can't get that.
We can't get that as a starter or a bench player. Is truly unfortunate. So let me ask y'all this. Like I said, I'm in no rush to go, but I think we're coming to a good stopping point, and I think I'm curious to this because you mentioned Dyson Daniels' name a couple of times. You even question if he's a starter. Is there a world where, at least me, at least Josh, because again, remember Josh said we got fleeced. Is there a
Right.
world where Dyson Daniels is better than we think? And he is like that. You remember the OKC trade for Paul George and Shea got traded, and
Yeah.
people were kind of like, oh, whatever, all the picks. But then Shea ended up being a superstar. So it's like, then they got the picks and a superstar. Is there a world where Dyson Daniels in 3 years could really be the better player in the best player in this trade?
That's all on Dyson Daniels.
Yeah, that's on him. We won't know that until he start getting some playing time and we can see him in action.
Yeah,
Like,
because I
like, like,
mean,
like
he
y'all
got to
think?
get in the lab because Shea got in the lab regardless. Shea
Oh
didn't
yeah,
just trip and fall over that ability.
yeah,
So you know, he had some flashes, but he really got in the lab. So is Dyson gonna go get in the lab and go become our quote unquote Shea?
But Dyson was that guy coming out of high school. Let me pull it up. I want to say he was one of the top players coming. I mean, leaving high school. So I know he got a little juice in him. He's still young. But I guess I'm saying, you know, with him being 21, can he be like a Damari Carroll, where you know?
Let me ask you this real quick, Mark. Let me ask a question to your question real quick. Okay, you played sports growing up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you know each level from grade school all the way up through high school, through college, into the pros. Every time you go up, that's a new level. So whatever you did previously don't matter.
Right.
You got to reprove yourself all over again. Each level, because there's always somebody out there competing. There's always somebody out there trying to take your spot. And you got to make, and if you had a spot, let's say for 6 straight years going through school, by the time you still get to high school, you still have to prove yourself all over again, even when people know about you, unless you're getting special treatment. And we know that's not always the case. You still got to come in and hoop.
So what did he do with the Pelicans last year?
Yeah, it looked like he had 6 points. It looked like he had limited minutes. Let's pull it up on Basketball Reference. So he ended up playing 61 games last season.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like he started 11 for the Pelicans. Oh, well, we started 11 his rookie season. He started 16 this past season, 22 minutes a game. Looks like it was not really a scoring option, but he gave you 1.5 steals.
What about that 3-point percentage?
It looks like it's at 30% on 2 attempts. That's not good. If you're shooting only 2, well, I guess that's not terrible. If you're only shooting 2, you know,
but so he's gonna have to be. He's gonna have to get that up.
But that and that lets you know, that indicates that he is not a 3-point shooter like that. If you're not taking them, and in this offense, you're gonna have to take those shots.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, definitely.
So he's more of a defensive piece that they got from him.
He is.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, now he played that defense. I give him that.
So let's see. So yeah, it looks like he came from Australia. He went to the G League Ignite. So we all know the G League Ignite is pretty much a development league for the G League, or development team for the G League. In the G League, I'm trying to see what he did when he played. So okay, he averaged 12, 7, and 5 with 2 steals a game. And that was enough to get him drafted 8th overall.
Yep, former first-round pick.
I'm talking about that was just the other day. He went top 10 a couple of seasons ago. So again, that's why I'm just curious if there's a world where when we look at this trade, we talk about fleece, that we're overlooking the fact that we got picks and we got someone that may still have some untapped potential, a la Damari Carroll, you know, a guy that's coming in B. But because you remember Quinn Snyder, wasn't Quinn Snyder there for that coaching staff for the Hawks?
Which one?
2016? He wasn't here for that?
Nah, Quinn, this is his first tender in Atlanta. Hold on. Oh, you talking about on the coaching staff for Budenholzer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it was
yeah, he was here on the coaching staff back then.
Yeah, and I think Kenny Atkinson, and man, damn, a lot. That was a nice little squad they had, honestly.
Well, he was here, but he left right before we popped off. He got hired in 2014.
Yeah,
that's why I was thinking. I know he took on that head coaching role and was like with the Jazz for like what, about 7-8 years, right?
Yeah. We got it right here. Well, can y'all see this? Okay, yeah.
I see it.
But I guess that was kind of my thing. Maybe they feel like, okay, this is the guy that they could really unlock. And with that being said, now this trade is looking a lot more valuable. I guess I'm just trying to find the positive in this move as of now. And I didn't realize that they had Dyson Daniels listed as a point guard. So that's interesting. But
for the Pelicans, he was a point guard.
Yeah, point guard, shooting guard.
Okay, I see the shooting guard. But
Yeah,
you also see that
6'8".
at the end of the day, right now with the Pelicans, he's a role player.
Right.
As of right now, regardless, he's a role player. So that's why um, Josh can say we got fleeced because at the end of the day, he's still coming off the bench. We know Nance is coming off the bench. He's coming off of everybody's bench. And then you got these two first round picks that are later round picks, just like he was even saying in the comments. So it's not a sexy look, but we do have assets. We just got to see how these assets going to work. Are we going to be able to use them to go do something else, or are we going to have to keep them because we can't get nothing else?
Yeah.
That's the fear of Atlanta Hawks fans, man. Shoot, we because you still have to have two to tango. So regardless, you can offer a deal to a team. They just say no. That's it. The next thing you know, you stuck with this team going into next season, and it's not a championship winning team. Dude, it's not even a contender.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
So they
I
just took
totally
the
agree.
best offer they could get, so they can
Right.
move Murray and move his salary with him. So
Right.
that's why they went with this.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a great point. Definitely a great point, man. It's going to be interesting to see because I think we're still going to be very active. Free agency starts June 30th at 6 p.m. So,
Yep.
man, this has been an eventful summer, man. Hey, as soon as Mother's Day hit, we have been very, very active. So
Hmm.
definitely, man, definitely excited to see what's next. Wallace, any final thoughts on this off season, this current trade?
No, we just have to wait and see what other moves they're gonna make. To finalize the team before the summer games start. Probably.
Mm, yeah, that's coming up soon. I think with Summer League, next week?
Yeah, well,
July
actually,
12th.
it's July 12th.
Okay, so in 2 weeks. Yeah, so
Hmm.
that's coming up. Chris, any final thoughts? Anything that you're going to get off your chest?
Man, all I'm going to say is I just hope there's other moves coming that's going to
Right.
improve this team because as of right now, with the Dejounte trade, you do get some assets, you do get a little cap space. Just want to see what comes next. Um, I know a lot of Hawks fans don't have faith in the front office, and they have that right to be critical of the front office off of what they've seen so far. So hopefully we're going to turn into the right direction, and hopefully it started with Ricochet, and hopefully even though most of us don't like the trade right now, hopefully it benefits us in the very very near future.
Hey, that's facts, man. That's facts. Well, I know you got your YouTube, you booming, you doing multiple things. Let everybody know where they can find you going forward.
Oh man, well you can come on over to A1 Forever Sports. The show there is cooler and fly too, where we be generational because it's always time to be, and also we don't settle for less because you can always have more with the vision. Even though this trade is, got a lot of people blood boiling, please try to find your peace today. Positive energy always creates elevation, and that's how you find your peace today. Now, moving forward, you can come over to the channel. I did drop a video about Zachary Ricochet. Got a video with Smitty coming soon about the second round pick and some trade possible signing scenarios. Kind of already on gave a sneak peek about that already on here tonight with Wiseman and Kessler. So look out for that as well. That's coming. You already know the 95 North Sports Machine. We're still doing work backs behind the scenes, trying to get more guests on for people to, enjoy the content that's coming, getting people's thoughts. Yeah, the Hawks are a hot topic, so we're going to continue rolling with the Hawks. Training camp coming soon, so you already know if you're in the A, make sure you're there for training camp. I know we're going to definitely try to make that for sure, for sure. So, it's going to be an eventful summer. I know it's kind of slow right now in certain areas, but it's going to pick up real, real fast, and Atlanta's going to be in the center of it.
Hey, that's facts, bro. That's facts. Hey, again, you all head over to A1 Forever Sports on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, bro. It's
Please,
free.
please,
It's free. I promise you. It'll help you and it'll help Chris. So I'm sure he would appreciate that. But Chris, I
always.
appreciate you again, bro. Always good to see you. Always good to talk to you, bro.
Yes, sir. Same to you, brother. We're going to do some more.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, again, that was Chris Tip Mo. Hey, he be holding it down. Now, Wallace, I know you be popping around. Are you going to start making some content? Are you going to pop out and show the people what you're talking about?
I don't know. I've been thinking about it.
Man, you should. You definitely should.
Yeah.
Even if it's just you going live,
Uh huh.
you definitely provide, a dope perspective, man. So I know I would subscribe. Matter of fact, I'm already subscribed to you. And
Yeah.
I think you got like 5 subscribers on one of them. So,
Oh, okay.
hey, 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 you
Yeah.
might need
I
to go
just
on and do it, man.
yeah. I just appreciate for y'all let me come on and chop it up with y'all.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, Wallace, I appreciate your support and I appreciate you coming through for a little bit, man. Hey, I hope you have a great night, bro.
All right. You too.
All right, thank you, man. Yeah, thank you to everyone that's came, man. It's pulled up, showed some love, joined the conversation. It's been super dope. If you didn't know, breaking news: Dejounte Murray has been traded to the New Orleans Pelicans. As we see below, he was traded for 2 first-round picks, the 2025 pick from the Lakers, the 2027 pick from either the Pelicans or the Bucks, depending on whatever was the best pick. Not only did we get the picks, we got Dyson Daniels and Larry Nance Jr. So we just talked to a couple Hawks fans, a couple diehard Atlanta sports fans, and you saw, man, it's a lot of different opinions, man. It's a lot of opinions. If you ask me, this was like a C type of trade. C as in average type of trade. C as in, come on, man. Come on, bro. Really? Really? So, like I said, man, just sitting back, trying to take it all in. Like I said, I appreciate everyone coming in, man. They helped me come back to earth a little bit. It's probably not as bad as a trade as we think. One thing we did do is we looked at Dyson Daniels. You know, we remembered this was a guy that was just a top 10 pick 2 seasons ago. He went 8th overall to New Orleans in 2022. It's a guy that played for the G League Ignite, averaged about 13 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. He was active, had a couple of steals per game. And again, it was enough for him to get drafted top 10. So at the time, there was a team that thought they could make it work. Now it's Atlanta's time to try to make it work. It's the same thing with Dejounte Murray. We tried to make the Dejounte Murray backcourt work. It didn't quite work, man. It didn't quite work. One thing that we looked at when we looked at this pairing, one thing we'll always do is look at the wins and look at the losses. And one thing that this pairing did is they lost a lot of games together. They actually lost more games than they won. They finished their pairing. The Dejounte Murray and Trae Young backcourt ended 55-62. That's unacceptable. And again, it goes back to that C type of grade. It's just average. But again, we got Wallace saying great content. Hey, I appreciate Wallace, man. Definitely appreciate you pulling up. Always good to see when Wallace pop out. That A1 that was just on the show, he said, got to be more moves. It has to be, and I totally agree. Has to be something else. So it'll be exciting to see what comes next because something's coming. We had free agency, so something's going to be coming. Wallace is saying the defense got worse in giving up 120 points a game. Yeah, man. It's definitely been a lot, man. It's definitely been a lot, man. Defense got worse. Team morale got worse. You know, we didn't make the playoff. We haven't solidified a playoff spot in years. So looking forward to this new beginning, man. This new beginning. I think now the question becomes, okay, how much is Trae Young to blame? Because when you go through the list, let's start from the top. You got Larry Drew, got him fired, or Larry Drew was fired when he was coaching Trae Young. Let's say that. Next guy that comes to mind that was let go. was Nate first or was Kevin first? Well, I guess before all of them was Cam Reddish. That was a guy that got the deuces. He got sent out. I think we ended up getting a first for him too, if I'm not mistaken. So we moved him at the right time, if I'm not mistaken. We got Kevin Herter, John Collins, now Dejounte Murray. So you got a couple coaches. We can't forget about Travis Slank quitting. I'm starting to wonder, man, is Trae Young the problem? Because when I list all those different things, whether it was his fault or not, he is the common denominator. And now we're at step 6 of building around a 6'1" point guard. So it's a lot to think about, man. But I think overall, this was a solid move because we knew we could not run this backcourt back. Again, they were 55 and 62. That is unacceptable. We just drafted Ricochet, and when we drafted Ricochet, I was thinking, what's next? What's next? What does this mean for AJ? What does this mean for Dre? What does this mean for Kobe? What does this mean for our backcourt? And within 48 hours, we got answers real quick. The pick of Zachary Ricochet means that we don't got time for AJ. We don't got time for Dejounte. And here we are. We got Mike Kelly saying we had the worst front office. Man, that's what it is. That's what it is. Man, could be. It could be, man. I'm not too sure. I trust Landry Fields and ownership anymore after this trade. I don't feel like any more confident in them and their ability to evaluate talent, to work contracts. So maybe you do have a point. Maybe it really is the front office. Maybe it is ownership. Maybe we shouldn't let the owner's son run the team. Maybe. So that's a great point by Mike Kelly. Wallace is saying Cam Reddish demanded the trade, and he did, but that was with playing with Trae Young. This seemed like a very ideal place to play. You're in a great city. The city was ready to support you. And, you asked out. Wallace saying, I think it comes down to the owner with the overall say-so. And that may be it. Because, again, we have to remember who even brought Trae Young in. And it was the owner. It wasn't our management. Mark Cuban called our owner. He called the wrestlers and said, hey, let's work this deal. The GMs, they don't want to do it, so let's do it. Let's do it. And we all know we traded Trae Young for Luka Doncic and an unprotected pick. The unprotected pick became Cam Reddish. And as A1 says, Cam wanted to be a 1 or 2. And that's a whole nother conversation and no whole nother case study because Cam Reddish should have never went to Duke. Cam Reddish should have never went to Duke. He should have went somewhere where he could have been that guy. If I'm not mistaken, Cam Reddish he definitely was a top 3 prospect going into college. Was he number 2? Or was that Barrett, RJ Barrett? Either way, he was a top 3 prospect. He was better off going to his own school. I think he was from Philly, so he should have went to Villanova or should have just went to one of them Philly schools, man. He could have went for Pitt. He could have went to Pitt and just dominated there if he wanted to be that number 1 or 2 guy. So I just question Cam Reddish overall, man. He's a very interesting case because we all think that he should be way better. But yeah, man, I'm gonna check in on Twitter, man. We're gonna get out of here. I know my girl is pissed. I know she is mad, but I had to had this conversation with y'all, man. Had to come have this conversation with y'all. So let's check Twitter. Let's see what the Twitter street's saying, man. See what they're talking about. So we got Jason. I don't know who this is, but he said, I would worry about Trey not having an all NBA companion and wanting out. but maybe they'll bring in one. Make sure it's on the screen. Yeah. All right, so we got Jason Walker on Twitter. He's saying, I would worry about Trey not having an all-star companion and wanting out, but maybe they'll bring one in to play with Trey with these next deals. Or maybe, just maybe, Trey will be sent to San Antonio and get the Hawks pick back. And I said this with T. Will. Shout out to T. Will, too. Can't forget about him. He was a great guest. Definitely appreciate him. I know we're still streaming on his YouTube and his Facebook as well. One thing I said to T. Will, man, I said, Trey may be on his way too. Because this seems like a move that could potentially upset Trey Young. Trey Young was excited about playing with Dejounte Murray, and now he is no longer here. So that makes me worry a little bit. That makes me worry. Let's see if we can find that interview.
It's another episode of From the Point by your favorite point, presented by Sprite, the clear favorite. I'm back again, obviously with my brother
sir.
Winston. It's like the reach gets longer,
Man,
but
it's all good.
Winston, and then our guest today. It's been long overdue, but I think it's the perfect time. I got my brother with me, my teammate Dejounte Murray. Appreciate you coming.
Welcome,
You already
gang,
know.
bro. We're
Brother,
so excited
yeah.
to have you, man.
Yes, sir.
What up? What up? Coming off Eastern Conference Player of the Week, man. How you feel? It's dope, man. Congratulations.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate it, man. It's great. Obviously, it's a team thing. Couldn't do it without your teammates, especially having a bunch of guys down. Just everybody stepping up and trying to keep this thing going instead of just throwing the season away.
Yeah, for sure. Coming off that game winner against the Celtics, man, that was a big time shot. But I think we would be doing ourselves a disservice if we didn't address the elephant in the room, and that there's been a lot of speculation about really y'all two's relationship over the past, season and a half and all that. Trey, I'll start with you, man. How is y'all's relationship right now?
Oh shit. I think our relationship is good. I mean, I feel like, to be honest, there's not a memory I don't have with this dude that I don't remember. All the way back from, obviously knowing who he was in high school, but just him coming to the team and or him having the thought about coming to the team, and then us getting on the phone and now calling him, and then us talking about having a chance. And so going from there, being in basically a boot camp in the forest one day and us being partnered and then us getting to know each other there, there's a lot of memories that I have with this dude. And so it's beyond basketball when it comes to our relationship with me. So I think relationships can always be better if your team's winning and things like that and juices are flowing. But I think there's certain relationships that you have that are just deeper than basketball. And so he's one of those guys that, it's forever deeper than that. So I got a good relationship with him.
Man, my end is it's simple because I say this: basketball is a game to just be played. You win or you lose, and you either a competitor or you're not. So, the stuff that I think make us click is I see him with his family, his kids, his boys, and just how tight they are. And I'm pretty sure he could say the same. With me, when you meet somebody successful. And they got their day ones or just their family around them that speaks volumes, because a lot of people change. It's either you change or the people around you change. So for me, it starts there. So, when I see that, it speaks of who you are. And it's just at the basketball part, we're 2 point guards, let's just make that clear. 2 point guards, obviously he established, more than me in this league, he came into a great role, where I came in a different role. Everybody's situation is different. And, people are going to do all the stuff they do on the internet. They have to do that. They can't say just good, because the bad stuff sells, the bad stuff that make any of us go read. Not too many people want to read, oh, this is the good thing that was put out. The negativity is the stuff that sells. So, for me, when I see, just all the BS, trade this guy or trade that guy, it means nothing. It's somebody behind their computer. They could be at Starbucks right now, or they could be in a classroom, wherever they're at. The GM, I'm not the GM. He's not the GM. I'm not the coach. He's not the coach. So for me, that stuff mean nothing. We great. We communicate.
Yep.
It's authentic. But at the end of the day, that stuff is that stuff. And when you keep the outside noise, it doesn't bother you. So it don't bother me at all.
Not to
So again, for the people that don't like it, this is the reason why I think Trae Young may be on his way. You got to remember the cryptic tweet he posted on June 20th. He tweeted the hourglass emoji. And of course, people took it and ran with it, overreacted. So like, maybe I'm overreacting, but then Dejounte Murray doubled down. He sent out a similar tweet a couple of days later. So again, maybe Trae Young is out. Maybe it's a matter of time before Trae Young gets moved. Maybe that's why this move happened, is because they want to go on and do this one first. Go on and get this one out the way. Let the fans react. Let the fans say everything bad, call us the worst organization possible. Because both these guys don't need to be here, because neither one of them have Hawks DNA. Is that possible? That neither one of these guys have Hawk DNA? Because why would they both tweet this? That hourglass emoji, it caught a lot of people's attention. And, Trae Young always tweeting. He's always doing something cryptic. He's always manipulating, right? That's one thing he's done extremely well in the NBA is manipulate the rules and just manipulate how he can be effective. And one thing he's definitely done is manipulate and control the narrative on Twitter. And I think he may be on his way. He may be on his way, man. Because there's no way he approved of this. There's no way he approved of this. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting to keep it up. What's next, man? What's next? We got Wallace saying, and that was a problem. We had 2 point guards, and they both need the ball in their hands. That's extremely true. You got Wallace saying, I don't see them getting rid of Trae and starting over from ground zero. I didn't see them trading Murray. I didn't see them trading AJ, even though I agree that you had to move him because you weren't going to play him. So his value was at its highest now. But I feel like Trae Young's value is at its highest now. This will be his. We went through the list, man. He's had so many players around him traded away. So it's almost like he just needs a fresh start at this point, man. He needs a fresh start at this point, if you ask me. Like it would just seem to be awkward to be in Atlanta, man. Because at this point, you look like the bad guy. You look like the villain that's getting everyone, pushed out of Atlanta, man.
reflect on it too much, but I think he hits the nail on the head when it comes to our relationship. When it comes, family is the most important thing to me. Like, and I know it's the most important thing to him. And it's like when your morals are the same, then all this other stuff don't matter as much. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like we're trying to win every game we can, but there's a lot of stuff we can't control and things that we can't. And so we just got to focus on the main thing. And so for our relationship, that ain't never gonna change. So
Yeah, you both make great points. I think the media oftentimes, especially I feel like in situations where there are two star players at the same position, it seems like most of the time, like you said, bats have sells. It seems like oftentimes it might drop a couple games. It seems like the automatic storyline is they pin the stars against each other. What would you guys say to critics, media, whomever, haters you want to call them, that you guys don't like each other or not on the same page?
For me, bro, I don't like it hold no weight to me, man. You can ask my family. I mean, he sees me, every day. Just how I operate. I come into work, handle my business, rock with my guys. We laugh, we joke from the plane.
I'm gonna ask y'all now: is there ever a duo you can think of where both guys wanted to play together. They made it very clear in the offseason. This interview came out 2 months ago. So this came out during the playoffs. Hawks season was over. Hawks offseason started. Have we ever seen a time in NBA history where two players, a duo, has made it very clear they want to play together, and they still trade one of the guys? Usually, when you see one of the guys traded, is when one of the players has made it clear, whether it's body language or if they just said it verbally, that they don't want to play with this guy. Usually, they don't. You hardly ever hear it said, but you can feel it. These guys came out and did the opposite. They said, we want to play together. And ownership trades Dejounte, a guy that just got here. I think Trae Young is on his way. I think Trae Young is on his way out, man. That's my hot take for the night. Trae Young is also on the way. Like I said, he's posted the cryptic tweet. He said it's a matter of time. Dejounte said it's a matter of time. And just like that, we see Dejounte Murray sniped off the team. So again, that's my take. Like Wallace saying, Trey said before that he can only control what he can control and not worry about what he can't control. And that's extremely true. That's a great point. That's something that we should all, strive to do, is just control what you can control. And that is yourself, your attitude, your mentality. And that's what each of these players are going to have to do going forward. That's what they're going to have to do, man. But yeah, look like Twitter Spaces is booming. Hawks Twitter is going crazy. I would join the conversation, but I know my girl's listening through the door right now. Like, if this man don't hurry up. I know she is sick, but I had to do it for Atlanta. I had to do it for Atlanta, man. Okay, I'm just going through Hawks Twitter. That's why I need to get Larry from the Dixon up here, because I've been saying Trey all summer, and summer hasn't even officially started yet, and we've already traded Dejounte. Wallace said yes, they want to play together, but they don't have no control over that decision. Yeah, they don't. Oh, DJ, you missed it. Larry was just up here for about 30 minutes. Oh, I don't know why I'm reading Larry but thinking Wallace. Excuse me. But no, yeah. We definitely agree. We got to get Larry. I sent it to our group chat. So he would come if he could. He's probably live now too, if I had to guess. But let's keep this going before we get out of here.
Rise, bus rides, whatever it is, the locker room. So like that stuff don't mean nothing, man. Because at the end of the day, like I said, we are not the GM or the coach. And let's just make it clear, it's really hard to get any team to click. It's hard to win in the NBA, bro. Like it is hard. It is not easy, So knowing people don't look at the circumstances here, like, we came together and then the coach gets fired and then we bring in another coach in the same season. Obviously you had a summer to try to figure things out, and health comes up. What if I was out, or what if he was out? Like he's out now. Like it's just, you just don't know. It got to be damn near perfect. It got to be a lot of luck into that. Like, so for them just out there, I'm not mad at them. Let them say what they say. As long as that stuff don't come in from the insides, which I always say, like, our organization is everything that's said in there should stay in there, and mainly the players, because I don't like to get in the front office business, but the players, as long as we stay together and connected, you never know. We may stay together. We may go elsewhere. You just don't know. It's out of our control.
Ah, man, I just hate to see this from Dejounte. It really looks like he did not expect to be traded this offseason. Um, it seems like, you know, they let Trae Young know, they let Dejounte know that there were people calling. Probably they probably let them know that there was people interested and they were going to entertain those offers, and that's why you get those tweets. Because as we can see, 2 months ago, the energy was different. The energy was, hey, all y'all talking, y'all just coming up with rumors. It's not his fault. It's not my fault, man. We can work. Thinking about the situation, we got new coaching. They come in the middle of the season. Blase, blase, blah. It's not up to us anyway. And then 2 months later, you get traded, for some first round picks. So definitely breaking news. This is the definition of breaking news. This is the definition of breaking news, man. Dejounte Murray traded for 2 picks and 2 players. AJ Griffin traded for a second round pick. Seems like they clearing house, man. Seems like they clearing house, but yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. You got Zay in the building. What's up, Zay in the back? Zay be doing his thing. Zay be killing it. You're more than welcome to come up, speak your piece if you want to really quickly. Drop the link one more time before we get out of here. I already know I'm gonna be in the doghouse for the night, but that's okay. Cause we had to do this, man. We had to clock in real quick. It looks like I'm gonna post the link over there. So like I said, you're more than welcome to join the stream. We're gonna continue this conversation really quickly because I don't remember how this ended. I remember Dejounte saying that, but I don't remember what Trae Young said after this. So let's listen real quick. Well, so you gotta make it up for her tomorrow. She'll be all right. She'll be all right. I'm sure she's in there watching something. She'll be all right. And we weren't gonna do nothing anyway. I was in the bed. I was half asleep. I had a long day. Yeah, so let's put us up. Let's continue this. Let's see if Zay come. DJ, you more than welcome to come. Yeah, because I haven't met you yet, DJ. Obviously, I know of you, but I haven't met you yet.
They go elsewhere. You just don't know. It's out of our control.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he hit the nail on the head. To be honest, I think our season changed when Jalen got hurt and Kuz went up for a block that he had no intention of blocking the shot and hurt. I mean, one of our key players, and we went on a stretch where we didn't win as many games. And then, like he said, it's hard. It's so hard, and to get to a place like where we want to go, deep into a playoffs, even into a position to be high enough to be in that playoff position. So it's like you do have to have a lot of luck, and it sucks because this is my first year. Like I'm talking to him on the bench, like I can't really say nothing because I'm part of it now, but this is how I've been feeling for a lot of years. Like, I mean, some of the top key players every year that I've been a part of the Hawks, like guys get hurt, and that's just unfortunate. That's just part of the game. But I mean, I'm a part of it now, so like I can't say too much about it this year. And but that's just like he said, it's hard to get to that spot. But it's not like we ain't trying. And
Yeah, man. Breaking news, man. And then to make it worse, Dejounte, he ends up in a good spot. Dejounte ends up in New Orleans. They got a lot of positive things going in New Orleans. They could have probably made a run this season. They did with some injuries. But one thing's for sure, they were missing a true point guard to get everybody into their spots. Now they get one. They get Dejounte Murray. They allow him to play his natural position. They have a lot of two-way players, 3-and-D type of guys. So he fits right into what they're trying to do defensively. And again, they didn't really have to give up anything for him. You know, so New Orleans is clearly trying to make that push. Definitely excited for Dejounte. Gets back out to the West where he probably belongs. He's a Western type of player. He's an old school, get it out the mud type of player. And he gets to go out to the West, have a chance to compete. So happy for DJ, man. He's definitely, in my opinion, going to a better situation. It's definitely a better fit. Get him in his natural position. You know, you got Dejounte Murray, McCollum. You know, they got a couple different wings, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy. Now you got Zion, and they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with their center position. I know Valanciunas is a free agent, so they definitely are. They've improved by making this move, and I don't think they had to give up too much. I mean, Dyson Daniels, that's nothing. The picks, definitely nothing, especially when you consider that 2025 pick is from the Lakers. That should be like outside the lottery for the most part. So that should be like a 15th overall pick at best. And then that 2027 pick, you're talking about it's going to be a pick between the Bucks or the Pelicans. The Bucks should be, the Pelicans should definitely be competitive for a couple more seasons. The Bucks should be competitive for a couple more seasons. So you didn't really give up anything. To the Hawks, it's treasure because we didn't have anything. We didn't have any picks. But New Orleans definitely improved their roster. Then the Hawks took a step back, but we're in a better position going forward. And now it's about what's next, man. Now it's about what's next. So definitely appreciate y'all, man, for hanging out with me. This was super dope. This is just my second live. So you already know if you're watching the replay, like, subscribe, share it. Just do something. Engage with the video. That helps me. And then y'all let me know, man. What can I do to make this more lit? Because I'm trying to get it jumping for the season, man. Trying to get it jumping for the season. So definitely appreciate y'all, man. Definitely looking forward to seeing you all soon. But until next time. That was a test. That was a test to see who would watch the whole thing. And shout out to y'all for watching the whole thing, man. Shout out to y'all. Yeah, I'm talking to you. I see you still watching. It's funny, as I say that, the viewers start to drop. But yeah, that was a test, man. Just wanted to see the loyal ones. Yeah, and I can see who's still watching. I see you. So I appreciate y'all. But again, until next time. you